welcome to Super Belle Sews. My name's Sarah, thanks for joining me today. I feel like I wasn't on YouTube for weeks and now I've been on loads of times this week. I've just had a bit of catching up to do. So today I thought I would share with you a couple of things that I made before I went away, but not for the honeymoon, which I've only recently photographed. So I thought I could talk you through a couple of those things. And I have a couple of other updates, including something that I'm excited about, that I'm starting a new sort of idea for the channel. And the first video for this will be coming out at the weekend. So stay tuned. I'm going to talk a bit about that at the end of the video. So the first things I want to talk about are a couple of recent makes that I finished a little while ago. And they are both as part of my brand ambassadorship, is that what you say, for Minerva. So most of you will probably know that Minerva is a really big fabric crafting company. They have loads of fabric and patterns and haberdashery. They stock designer prints, but they also have their own exclusive prints. They also have a lot of really good basics. So if you're looking for, like I had a friend who wanted to make curtains, and she really wanted to be able to pick the right shade. And Minerva is a big enough brand that they can have sort of basics ranges in like a really wide range of shades. So they're really good if you're looking for a specific colour match or something like that, or if you just want to have a really big choice of colours. They always have a really good range of basics as well. So as a brand ambassador, each month you are sent a link, and this takes you to a selection of fabrics that you can pick from. You can skip months, so I don't do it every single month, just because I wouldn't be able to keep up, to be honest. But I do get involved as and when I feel like it. Anyone who watched my autumn winter plans video, I think I mentioned at the end that I want to make a Christmassy concert dress out of velvet, and my next make is going to be that dress, and it's using a really beautiful matte velvet from Minerva. So I'm very excited to show you that when it's done. Now, these two makes are both on Minerva exclusive fabrics. So they have these prints that they've designed, and throughout the last year or so, they've been releasing them on a variety of different bases. And these two makes are on relatively new bases for them. So first up, they have released a variety of their prints on a sportswear athleisure base. And I've been wanting to try making leggings, like workout leggings, for a while. I wear, around the house, I tend to wear leggings and then like an oversized jumper like I'm wearing today, or an oversized t-shirt. And that's just what I like to wear when I'm sort of pottering around the house and doing bits and bobs like that. And normally I buy leggings, but I've just always liked the idea. Sometimes I find I've got a few really nice pairs actually, but if you want things that are in a fun print or whatever, that can be tricky in bigger sizes, and also things that don't go see-through when you are working out in them, so that they don't go a bit like thin when they're stretched. And the other thing is, I really like my leggings to have pockets, and some of them do have pockets, but a lot of them don't. So I feel like if you can make some that in design are really your taste, but also you can put pockets in, so you can have your phone in when you're working out or whatever, that is ideal for me. So I had to look through their range, and I ended up picking this really fun leopard print design. Now, I like leopard print generally, although I tend to prefer it in sort of unusual colourways rather than the classic colourways. Although I did get the fabric on by the denim. So, but generally, if I'm wearing leopard print, it will be in like a fun colourway. And this one has blues and oranges in, and I think it's really nice. So, let me show you the set. So I'll pop a picture up here. So this is the So Liberated Limestone legging set. So it comes as leggings and then a little like crop top. Now, there is zero chance I am ever wearing a crop top in the gym or around the house. I don't wear crop tops. I don't wear bra type tops unless it's like actually a bra. So initially I was just going to make the leggings. The reason I picked this pattern was because I really like So Liberated. I think their patterns are good and the instructions are good. And also I liked the design details I thought there was a lot of scope. So I think you could do nice colour blocking. It has the pockets. It has these seams which I think can sort of like sculpt the shape of the leggings a bit, which I really liked. I also loved that they showed these on a range of models, so that I could sort of assess the shape. So I picked this pattern and I had enough fabric left over to make a top. So I decided to use the crop pattern as a base and then extend it to make a longer top. And that's how I've ended up with this set. I really enjoyed sewing it. I think Sew Liberator patterns are great. The trousers, the leggings were pretty well drafted. The top was okay, but it's sleeveless. And I did have a bit of, you get those excess sort of like wedges of fabric at the arm, going into the arm size. So I think I would probably need to play around with sizing down and doing an FBA, which I can't really be bothered with for this top specifically. But if you were going to wear that top, if you were going to wear it as a set, you might want to just take that into account, that you might need to do a little bit of work with the arm side. As a set, I'm really pleased, to be honest. It's really nice to wear. I generally don't wear tight clothes on both the top and the bottom. So I'm more likely to either wear the top with some normal tracksuit trousers or wear the leggings with an oversized t-shirt. I wore them together for the purpose of the photo. The fabric is beautiful. It is so soft. Honestly, it's just like gorgeous. Really smooth, really buttery soft, and the colours are really nice and vivid. A really good option if you want to try making your own sportswear. It's got like a very subtle sheen to it, like you would expect from that type of fabric. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed working with it, and I've sort of been keeping an eye on some of the other prints. Just in case it wasn't clear from earlier in the video, these fabrics are gifted to me by Minerva to be an ambassador. We write reviews, but they are honest reviews, so you don't have to say something's amazing if you don't really like it. But the quality of this fabric is really, really good. So that was my first make. And then the second make was in a really luxurious base. So Minerva have released a selection of silk bases, and I requested one of their silk crepe de chines. And I made the Sicily Slip dress, which is quite a simple slip dress pattern by the brand By Mason. I'll pop a picture of the dress up here. Now, first of all, when I picked this fabric, I didn't spot one of the details, and it was only when I posted a little work in progress picture on Instagram that people started saying like, oh, it's got snails on it. I had not even noticed the snails. How bad is that? So it's this fun sort of floral print, and then it does have these little snails, which I think are quite cute. Some people said they did not like the snails, so I think it's sort of a Marmite type thing, but if you like snails, I think this is a very subtle way to incorporate them into your wardrobe. The fabric is lovely. I think because it's a silk, it feels super light and airy, but because it's a crepe, it's got that texture, which means it wasn't sort of slipping and sliding around everywhere, and it was actually really nice and easy to work with. I think in my head I always think silk, satin, slippery, nightmare, but this was not like that at all. It is like a little bit translucent, I would say. I think I can get away with it because it's on a dark base, but I did wear this with tights and a cardigan the other day, and when it was very, very bright, I thought, people will see my legs through this dress. So it's not a major issue, but you probably would want to line it if you use this base. But it feels just like nothing. It's so light and gorgeous. I chose a Sicily Slip dress because I thought that something cut on the bias would lend itself well to this fabric. And I was right with that. I had a bit of a panic because obviously when you cut things on the bias, the print, if you've got a directional print, that then will sit differently. But I think it's worked out okay in this instance. But it's just something to keep in mind depending on the print and the scale of what you're using. The Sicily Slip dress, I think, is a very pretty pattern, and I've been really complimented wearing this dress. There are a couple of things, so I've made it before, and this time I changed one major thing, which bothered me in the first one. So the one I made before was a crepe back satin. I'll put a picture here. It has a facing on the inside, and in the first one I made, the bottom of the facing landed like halfway down my bust line, which meant there was a very obvious line coming through the fabric, and it was a plain fabric, so it was really easy to see. And it really bothered me, and I basically never wear it because it irritates me so much. So this time I extended that. The facing is, so when you cut out the dress, so the dress pieces are all in a single piece, so you don't have a waist seam. And the facing is sort of added, it's like a mirror image on the top of the dress. So I just extended the mirror image down so that now the facing ends below the bust, which means it doesn't stick through because it doesn't have like all the boob pushing it up against the outer dress. So, and I was much happier with that, so I will definitely make that adjustment moving forward. Obviously, that's specific to me because I'm busty. You may not have to make that adjustment, but I think just keep it in mind. The other thing is, I think I would prefer this type of dress if it was a bit longer. I think the midi look is, this I'd say is about knee length, and I think I would like it from my proportions. I think it would look better on me if it was a bit longer, but I need to look at the reality of that when you're cutting on the diagonal, because obviously that limits how, like, you're limited by the width of the fabric. So I would probably have a little play around with either trying to find some fabric that was a thicker width, or playing around with how far on the diagonal it has to be. This may then ruin the idea of a bias cut dress, I don't know. But I'm like, does it have to be at the full 45 degrees, or could it just be like slightly less? Do you know what I mean? So that'll be something to experiment with on a cheaper fabric, not a silk base. But those are things that I would change. It is a really, really, really quick sew, like really, really quick. And it has hardly any pattern pieces, literally front piece, back piece. I think there's a little facing on the back piece maybe that's not connected originally, and the straps, and that's it. So really quick and easy to sew. So those are my latest Minerva makes. I do also have a code. So this code gets you 10% off if you order anything at Minerva. And it gets me a little something too. I was given this ages ago and I always forget to share it. So it's an affiliate. No, it's not an affiliate link. You know what it is. It's a discount code. You put it in, it gives you a bit off. But also when people use it, I will then get something back or something. I don't really know how it works. But anyway, feel free to use it if you would like to. But obviously no pressure. But it's there and I always forget to share it. So I'll pop it on the screen and I'll pop it in the description box below. Now, the two other things I want to talk to you about. One was, I have decided that I am going to do Vlogmas this year. Initially, my plan was to just take you through what I'm doing day to day and sometimes maybe do a bit of sewing. But also, as I've said before, my work gets very busy around Christmas. Lots of singing and carol services and things like that. So it can be quite fun to share. But also, I'm doing a very fun advent calendar swap with some other sewing vloggers. So I've been putting my little calendar together that I'm sending off, and I will be receiving a calendar. So we're doing 12 days of Christmas rather than the 24. So my plan initially was, okay, every other day you'll see what I get in the advent calendar. However, I have a load of students this year, private singing and piano students, who all go to school together. I don't teach at their school, but I've been teaching them since they're young, and several of them are going off to university this year, so they're taking their A-levels, and most of them are stopping their lessons at Christmas so that they can focus on their exams and their uni applications and things like that. It's been very, very sad. And anyway, last year I was teaching at my mum and dad's, and as you may know, the piano room that I taught in was also the my sewing space while we lived with them. And so last year I had the Fabric Godmother advent calendar. And I had that up on top of the piano. So when they came round, none of them were really crafty people, but they would always be asking like, oh, what did you get? And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, because they're leaving, they all chipped in and they got me a gift. And I hadn't been planning on buying this year, but the gift is the Fabric Godmother advent calendar for this year, which is so generous and so sweet of them. So yeah, they put a card together with the money in for it, and then they said that this is what they wanted me to get. So this is what I got, and I'm really excited to see what's in it. I know people have sort of quite mixed opinions of the advent calendars. I enjoyed mine last year. There are obviously some. I would say it's maybe not the best value for money. You do get some exclusive things that you probably can't buy. But I think a lot of the things you probably could buy afterwards. But I just thought, what a sweet gift and what a kind thought. So I'll be opening this every day as well. So that's great. And the other thing I really wanted to talk to you about was a new little series that I'm going to be having on my YouTube channel. So this is not going to be a regular series, and it's not going to be like every week or every fortnight or every month. It's just going to be as and when. Just because it's sort of based on other people's availability, and I also want it to fit around my availability, which can be very changeable, as you know. But it is going to be an interview series, and it is an interview series with plus size and fat creators. So my first interview is going to be with Rebecca, Kate and Christina, who are the founders of The Curvy Coven. So The Curvy Coven is a sort of online community for bigger sewing people. It was only set up a couple of months ago. It's really taken off. There are loads of really interesting chats. So if this is something you'd be interested in, there'll be more information in the video on Sunday, so take a look at it. They're listed on Instagram as the Curvy Coven UK because someone else had just Curvy Coven, but there are lots of people in there who are not from the UK. So if you are a plus-sized dressmaker, sewing person, then it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you can message the Instagram account and they will add you to the WhatsApp group. It has loads going on. There are chats. It's split into lots of different chats. There's the general chat. There are chats about patterns. There's toiling help. There's pets. There's sewing room ideas. There's pattern ideas. There's all sorts. There's like historical costume section. There's a swimwear section. There's everything. So, and it's a really lovely, supportive community. So I'm going to be chatting to them on Sunday. And then I'm hoping that I've got an idea of some people I'd like to speak with. So just as and when I'm able to get those interviews set up, I will be sharing them with you. I've come up with the name Chubby Chats because I love the alliteration. It can be really difficult coming up with names for things like this because I know that there are certain words that people like or don't like. I am sort of okay with all words as long as they're not said in a sort of mean-spirited way. So I've gone with Chubby Chats. And yeah, I'm really excited. We had a really good chat the other day. I finally worked out how to edit it all together, so well done me. And I am excited to bring more of those to you. It is a long one. It was an hour chat. So this will be one for maybe on Sunday. If you're planning on sewing, just have it on in the background. Grab a cup of tea and a biscuit. Do you know what I mean? It is a long one. But we talked about lots of interesting topics. They are interesting to sewing generally, but also if you are a bigger member of the sewing community, there are a lot of sort of specifics. And also, I think within the series, it always means whoever I'm talking to, we're going to be talking about patterns that are inclusive. So they often are inclusive to people who aren't in plus sizes as well. And there'll be lots of things about fitting issues and stuff like that. But it just means that sort of that part of the community are not excluded from the inspiration. Because, I mean, there are so many people out there with amazing makes and amazing things to say. So I'm really excited about that. I think I was a bit nervous about being an interviewer, and the opening was a little bit awkward. I sort of was, oh, hi, who are you? Just bad, but it got a lot better. So I think I found my stride. And they're a great, very interesting 3 ladies. So keep an eye out for that. It's coming out 8 a.m. on Sunday, and I can't wait for you to see it. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. If you can think of anyone on the Chubby Chat series, if you can think of any plus size or curvy makers who you would love to hear more from, please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. I can't guarantee because I don't know who's going to want to come on, but I'm happy to approach. I've got some ideas from myself, but I also am happy to see who the community wants to hear from. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. As always, have a great weekend. Bye.